My sister and fam visit regularly, treating my home like a hotel, AIO to say they are no longer welcome to visit. For more than 2 nights, I live in a fantastic location, near the beach and short drive from hinterland. I have kids aged 8 and under and a full-time job. My husband also works 13 to 14-hour days. We have our hands full. When my sister comes, I move one of my kids, so her and her family have a room big enough. They leave wet towels on her bed, and I have addressed this with my sister before. However, she and her husband reacted quite immaturely to this, blaming one another instead of just saying, "Noted, won't do it again." They still do this. They both shower twice a day, which is fine, not great, but what is frustrating is one of them has a 45-minute shower each time. They let food overflow on my stove and try and clean it up, and they leave it stained. This weekend, I was left to do laundry, cook breakfast for them, breakfast for my kids, and at one point also asked to hold their one child whilst I was doing all that. They are also always late for events. I usually have to give them an earlier time to try and get them to places on time. And even then, they can be quite late. They sleep in, lounge around, and then go out all day, coming home after the kids have gone to bed. My kids absolutely love and adore them and are always disappointed that they aren't spending much time together. My sis and Beal also have a tendency of telling the kids they will come to their sports and not turn up. Beal also likes to play pranks. He called me at work when I first started and pretended there had been a house fire at my home. I was stressed, and when I tried to address it, I got blamed for making it awkward. I've asked him not to prank me, and he says he only does it to those he loves. And I was like, please, I don't appreciate it. He stopped for a while. My youngest is also behaviorally challenging, which is exacerbated dramatically when they are here. AIO, if I set ground rules to their visits, towels stay in bathroom, showers max 10 minutes, can't stay more than 2 days, what would be a tactful way of laying those ground rules out? Update. I posted and deleted in June. Someone from a site that rips Reddit stories reached out to me and I panicked. Whilst my sister doesn't Reddit, she does like those trashy sites. Also obligatory, I'm on mobile. I had posted about my sister and brother-in-law, who come and stay every few months for 2 to 6 days at a time. Leave their wet towels on our beds, even though I've asked them not to. He takes 45-minute showers twice a day, and they don't really spend time with us. More go do their own thing and come back at night like we're a hotel. It's upsetting to my kids because they don't understand why their aunt and uncle don't keep their promises of coming to their games like they said they would, or play whichever game they promised they would. Sure, they are busy with their 1-year-old, but I've asked them not to make promises they can't keep. I don't think I went into this at all in my last post. There were a lot of comments pointing out, I'm a doormat. Okay, I heard you read it. And I think in the comments I mentioned I am of a culture where we open our home to family and are overly hospitable. I was, however, born and raised in the West, but Mum was overly hospitable, and looking back often, it was to my detriment. There is more to what happened in June. My brother was also there, but he is a whole other post, maybe a novel. Reddit, you will be very proud to hear my update. My sister called me 2 weeks ago as my birthday was approaching, and she wanted to ask if she could come for my birthday. I told her no, as we had a lot on, and it wasn't ideal. It was the last weekend of kids' school holidays. I just needed to get my house in order and iron their school clothes and my work clothes and get them back into routine and just have some family time that weekend. I didn't say what we were busy with, but just that it wouldn't work for us. She tried again, but explained that her friend is arriving from interstate to an airport, 90 minutes from me, but almost 4 hours from them. And she was hoping they could stay at mine before leaving in the evening to pick her up and heading home. So it wasn't for my birthday, but for convenience. And then she planned to head off in the evening in the middle of birthday celebrations, and it would have been disruptive because our kids are always sad to see their favorite aunt and uncle and cousin go. I was like, sorry, no, and I'll have to call you later because my kids were fighting. Again. On a tangent, I won a weekend away to an island from a $5 raffle. Island is about 1 hour off the coast. It was a 3-bed townhouse. and I wanted her and her fam to join us. But the thought of cooking and cleaning after them didn't sound fun to me. In fact, I felt stressed about it. I ended up asking my husband's cousin and his family. They pitched in with cooking and cleaning. They have kids the same age, which was great, so we all handled the kids well. It was just what I needed. I need a resolution, though. My sister and I live too far apart to visit just for the day. Neither of us can afford accommodation when we visit one another. I would have visited her at least once since June, but have avoided it. I would like to hang out with my sister, but how? I also don't feel like I can keep saying no to her. It will require an honest conversation eventually, where I lay my grievances and concerns on the table. She will jade. It is never her fault. If you recall when her husband pranked me about the house fire and I called him out on it, he eventually apologized, and she called me days later to chew me out and tell me how I had made it awkward. Edit. People saying save up for a hotel. They are 300 minutes per night at either location and about 150 if we meet halfway between those locations. We're facing the mortgage cliff in a few months and can't justify the cost. Edit 2. Meeting halfway doesn't interest me. Halfway Point is my old hometown of a decade. We will make plans. Sis will be anywhere between 1 to 4 hours later. We've done this song and dance before. Yes, she has been 4 hours late. Recent times I've carried on, you try and enjoy whatever activity I had planned, but the kids ask where their aunt and uncle are every 5 minutes, despite them knowing aunt and uncle are always late. If I'm going to that city, I would rather make plans with friends who won't flake, see my sister-in-law, go to the man-made beach there with my kids' cousins who live locally.